This whole treadmill is dragging and slowing down, and I'm just showing you before and after lubricating the belt. But before you start lubricating, do a test. So just turn the machine off and just place your feet at various areas on the belt. And I'm going just to use my hands, push myself backwards. And what I want to do is just make the belt start moving. So the belt is at rest. I'm going to push myself and I want to make it move a little bit and listen for the friction noise. So let's just put my feet here at this point. I'm going to push myself backwards. So put your body weight and try just with one leg. I'm going to stand the other leg on the side. So just push myself backwards. Listen to the sound. So there is a lot of friction. Some other areas is going to be less noisy, but that gives you a good idea. So you can see there, this place it's better lubricated at this point, but it's still there is noise. So this is the test with the lubricant. This time again the machine is off. I'm putting my body weight on the left foot. I'm pushing myself backwards and listen to the sound. So it's much less noisy, and also I have to push myself with much less strength backwards. So this is the lubricant is really working. And let's see a test. I'm just going to stand on the belt, run the belt with the low speed and see how the belt is moving myself backwards. Without the lubricant, if I would stay on the belt like this and run the machine will almost slow down, will just not have the power to move my body weight. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It really works. Maybe a quick tip to lubricate this thing. So what I did with the belt is I took a piece of wood, 2x4, and I just slid the wood underneath. This is about the center of the belt. It's where the belt is the most flexible. Very important, wrap the piece of wood with something. I did use paper, wrap it with a cloth, because it's very important not to scratch the underneath of the belt with the wood. That's really important. And once it stays like this, actually the belt stays lifted, and I did not release the tension. You see those videos say about using an Allen key or a Torx to release the screw, release the tension. I did not have to release the tension because it's right in the middle. On this model, I don't have to remove the steps, the side steps, but on some model you need to remove this plastic because the belt slides underneath. And this model it's not necessary. So right here I have access to just slide my hand up to perhaps the middle of the belt. So what I did, I got my tube. I did cut a very small corner on one side, so it just pulls a very small line. And I know there are also bigger tubes. With those bigger tubes, I think it's more difficult to work in this situation. Maybe transfer the silicone or the wax into a smaller tube and try to slide the tube. And I did keep the tube with my hand, and I did place actually a line of lubricant. I think it's about where you start putting your feet, but it's more towards the front of the machine where you have enough space to slide your hand underneath. And I kept my tube with my hand. I cannot really film this, but I did slide the tube towards the center of the belt, then start pressing down a little bit to squeeze a small amount and just retreat my hand towards the edge. And I did trace a small line of lubricant this way. Stop at some distance from the edge because you will never work on this side, and also you don't want to start smelling that liquid on the sides. So I did put a line of lubricant from the center to the edge, and then I did move myself on the other side, slip my hand underneath towards where the line starts and continue the line to the other end. So this way, right now I have a line of lubricant like this. So it's about towards the front of the belt. So right now I'm going just to remove this piece of wood carefully. Again, very important not to scratch the belt, and do not over force when you lift the belt like this. So choose just a piece of wood that's flat enough to give you a slight access for your hand. Now to spread it, I'm just using a pillow to apply a slight pressure on the belt. You can apply it at all points on the belt, move it up and down like this. The belt is spinning at low speed at this point, so do like this maybe 1 minute or so, just to spread the lubricant uniformly. That's the whole idea. Be careful, it can actually just smear your pillow, so maybe use an old pillow that you don't care about it. And by the way, there are two types of lubes, silicone and non-silicone one. The non-silicone one, as this one, are I think they are wax based, because some belts need silicone lubrication, while other belts have been lubricated with wax lubrication. So on those waxed ones, and oftentimes those are called permanent lubrication, which will last only a few years. But on those with wax, you need by all means to use wax, not silicone. If you put silicone on the belts that got a wax lubrication permanent, so call it permanent, the wax and the silicone may just act together and become actually more sticky. So it's going to make it worse. So make sure you use the right lube. Check the owner's manual, what lube. This model on the owner's manual, it says it has a permanent lubrication. Do not put silicone on it, but you can and should, after a few years, when it's dragging like this, use wax one. Okay, so silicone and wax, two different types of lubes.